I can't tell you you're not ready. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you, but you are not ready for it. Okay. Make sure this is... So, I told myself that I wouldn't reach out to my kiddo. I told them, or I told myself I wouldn't reach out, and I would give them space, that if they didn't want to talk to me, that no response from that message from them was a boundary from them. And then everything with the world happened, and I reached out. I just said I love you. I didn't say anything else. I just said I love you. And from his standpoint, I'm a deadbeat who didn't want him, who chose partying instead of being with him, which wasn't what happened. I crashed out, and my trauma response was to go model. And at the time, the modeling jobs were be paid to look pretty at places that most people will never, ever, ever be able to go. And so it looked like I was just out partying, and I wasn't even paid at the time for a lot of that stuff. It was like intern type stuff. And for me, I was like so new. I told myself, I'm a new model. I have to work. I have to start at the bottom and work my way up, and that made sense to me. And so I was just happy to be there, because I didn't have straight teeth. My teeth are crooked, and every modeling agency in Oregon and California, even I don't think I ever went to Washington, but when I was younger, they said you need to have straight teeth. And my mom didn't have the money for that. So I crashed out when my dad died, and my crashing out looked like saying yes to a modeling job that wasn't a job. It was like an internship. It was just an opportunity, like now I'm assuming that a lot of women would never do that. We've been educated enough to know that the only person that wins are usually the people offering it, and it's not women that offer these things, so it's just, I was young and my daddy died. And he had actually not died yet. He was sick. He was really sick. He hadn't even died yet. And so sometimes when I talk about things, I need to clarify, this is traumatic for me. It took me 10 years to be able to come back to my family house where my dad lives. So me talking about this is hard. It's a lot, but I'm really proud of myself because I can. And my voice doesn't shake. I get quiet, but it's not shaky. It took me a long time to get to this point. So he was sick, and he was my rock. He was my hero. He was the only person in the world I trusted completely blindly, without a doubt. I knew that he would come to me. He would be what I needed. He was the best dad. He was the best dad. He was strong when he needed to be. And he was gentle a lot of the time. And so when men are toxic and they're like, I'm a man, I just laugh, because my dad was a real man. He wasn't cruel or abusive. And he was gay, by the way. But he didn't look gay. He had long black hair. And he was Italian, so he was 6'4". Always tan. Always had a great tan. He had really great legs too for a dude. He had
like beautiful legs. Women threw themselves at him. And it wasn't just because he was beautiful on the outside. His energy was so powerful. So healing. He was everything to me. And, you know, my kiddo's dad was really close with him too. And he had never had that. So there was this like connection with them. And so when my dad got sick and I left, my kiddo's dad took that pretty hard. Like, he just saw me as like an enemy. Like, how could you leave him? And in my mind, I couldn't watch him deteriorate. I didn't want to remember him like that. And still, sometimes when I close my eyes, I see him when he was at the last parts of his life. And God, fuck, this is not even what I wanted to talk about. This is not even what I want to talk about. Damn it. I guess it's time, you know. I was really close with my dad. I can't explain our relationship because people would think it's weird. They don't get to, it's not for the whole world. He was the only person that saw me. Like, really saw me. And accepted every part of me. He loved me so wholly. He is the person that taught me how to love my own child. He is the reason that I can take this in such stride. He's the reason I'm a fucking warrior. I don't even know what my life would be like without my daddy. And I miss him so much. How are you supposed to live up to somebody who was just good in so many ways? Your girl had to like go off camera and really blow her nose. Like, I don't even know where it comes from. So where was I before I got into that whole crying jag? Yeah, my dad had gotten really sick, and I couldn't watch him deteriorate. And also, not that it's anyone's business, because this is no one's business. But because of what's happening, I'm forced to share it, like, with the world. And just in hopes that maybe my kid will sit down and, like, watch this. My dad, if you've never had someone love you like this, it's really hard to explain, like, just outright. But he saw every part of me, and he loved every part of me, and the parts of me that I hated about myself, he loved those parts especially hard. He had a dad who was not loving to him, and was really cruel and abusive. And, you know, my grandma didn't have a mom that was overly warming and loving to her. But she had a really good daddy. And my grandma always used to say, Mama taught me how to be a good mom. And she never talked badly about her mother ever. The respect was so high. I think our family understands when family is hurting, and they act in a way that is out of character and really just not the best thing. You know, we all handle grief differently. And I think my dad knew. I think he knew I wouldn't handle it well. I think he knew kind of that he'd be the one that would get hurt the most. Like, I think he knew that he was gonna be the one that would take the hit. And he was never mean to me. He never put guilt in my heart. He never said anything. God, I wish he said something. He let me be who I was because he knew I needed to be that person. He knew I needed to have that heaviness in my heart of not doing the things that I would do now so that I could learn from it. Because it's those really deep regrets when you're young that shape who you become. And my dad was really connected in ways that they talk about in movies, like Doctor Strange type shit. My grandma was too. When he got really sick with cancer, he had a friend that came from Norway. And I remember walking up. I could never sneak up on him. I know now it's because he could feel my energy before I entered the room. So he knew I was there. He probably knew the minute that I was at the top of the stairs, to be honest. But he definitely knew that I was standing in front of the door, looking through the crack, listening, because it was always really dark. He wouldn't have been able to see me. And I walked in on his friend saying, "Patrick, please just tell me. Please don't die with this information and not telling anyone. Please tell me." And my dad was saying, "I can't tell you, you're not ready. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you, but you are not ready for it." And I was really young. I mean, I wasn't really young, but I was young enough to know that this was like ethereal, you know, it's bordering that esoteric knowledge that, you know, the government tries to hide. And so when he began to say something that was definitely something I wasn't supposed to hear, he interrupted him and said, "Come here." The guy snapped his head over, and I unfortunately don't remember his friend's name. And that's when I I went in the room. He was connected in ways that a lot of gurus talk about being. You know, it's the funny thing about people that are actually connected in that way. They don't announce it. They don't have to, because you just feel them. And when they leave this world, it's devastating. It's fucking devastating to our grand minds. Like, we really need them. But you could just hope that they left someone behind, you know, left a part of themselves behind so that could be passed on. And when he died, I didn't live up to someone that he would want to be around. His last words to me, he fucking quoted Buddha, so on par for who he is. It's just, he said, "The trouble is you think you have time." So anyway, now that I've gotten completely off topic, but kind of honored my dad by talking about him, and I think I'll try to do that more, where I just share about him, because he was such an incredible human. My leaving triggered things within the family that I could have never. I was definitely very young mentally, and that's not an excuse, but it's just the truth, you know. I was just, and I didn't see straight for a long time after he died. And so my kiddo only has the story of his trauma, and no grace has been given to me. And it's kind of ironic, because I've given everyone who's cultivated a fake narrative about me nothing but grace and kindness for 16 years. assuming that at some point they would see the harm that it was ultimately doing. But instead, my ability to grow through dirt being thrown on me over and over again fueled a fire within them. They took my growth personally. Like, I don't know what a person would do. Like, what are you supposed to do when you've lost everything and everyone? You just sit and crumble and like let the trees and the roots grow over you? I'm not gonna do that. That's not how I was built. That's not how I was raised. I was raised by some incredibly strong people who had endured a lot and still found love and peace and happiness in life. Like, my family instilled things in me that I don't think a lot of Americans probably have because they haven't needed to. We live really comfortably here in America. And I think that the hardships that people create are cultivated because, I mean, I'm not saying there are no problems in America. There are a shit ton of problems in America. I'm not talking about the hunger and all of the issues with women and everything like that. I'm not saying that's made up, but I'm talking about the people that are comfortable, above middle class. They cultivate problems with people that are under their class. That comes from comfort and boredom. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to do that. And so there's an aspect of privilege that's being played into this that I have never had. And where I had started at the beginning with some family, I don't have that anymore. And so I've been fighting this like one-sided war because I don't have beef like this. I've been too busy trying to keep myself afloat to like fight a war. So it hasn't even been fair, because if I were on like my own stable ground, if I had had a stable foundation and even two people behind me, I probably could have destroyed, demolished whatever was sent my way. Because I had like 10 people on one side, 5 on the other, like from different states for different reasons, attacking, whether it was my career, they're mad because I left a small town. Like, I was in the public eye in a really negative way, constantly taking hits. And while I was constantly taking hits and literally turning the other cheek, never ever responding or reacting to it publicly, being very graceful and classy, the way my grandmother taught me to be, I was made out to be someone who doesn't care. I was made out to be someone that can't be bothered, when in reality, what I showed the world was a fucking mask, and I cried myself to sleep every night for fucking years. For years. Before I finally found people that heard my story and gave me a hug and said, I'm sorry that you dealt with that. Do you want a drink? And then I developed a drinking problem for a really long time. And now I don't drink simply because I'm 37 and that shit goes straight to my, not my ass, right above my ass. So like it hangs over my pants. Like you just, I might have a drinking problem if they had like absolute 0 calories, not adding anything to my body. I might have a drinking problem, but thankfully this is America and there's additional everything and everything. And so unless it's water, it's probably not calorie free. This is green tea. It's got blue agave in it. Probably also ridiculous. I have noticed that I'm getting eaten alive by the mosquitoes already, and they're not even coming out in full force yet. When I sweat, I smell like agave because I drink so much agave. So, yeah, from my child's point of view, I'm a fucking villain. I'm a demoness. I'm a heartless biatch, like I'm trying really hard not to cuss. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I'm just tired of having to bleep out the F-bombs everywhere. I just have a healthy love for that word, and I say it so often, especially when I'm emotional, so I'm trying. So biatch is really tell us you're a millennial without telling us. So no, actually, I've been like teetering on the edge, you know, like you see me like rocking right now. Like that's just something I have to do to calm myself. It's probably weird. I get it. It's just like a self-soothing thing. So I do it. It took me a long time to realize even do it. Like if I was around people, it probably would have been pointed out. And I was like in front of the mirror and I started thinking about something. And the next thing I know, I'm like, I play with my neck right here. Like when I start getting stressed, like I pull it in my why. I don't know. It's just something I do. But yeah. So I was like really kind of struggling to get out of bed, struggling to eat food again, struggling. I mean, kind of said that in my last vlog that I wasn't really, I'm struggling, you know? And so through this struggle, I'm like, I don't know, thinking about my time in Vegas and just people in my life, like throughout the last 14 years, you know? People that just really kind of helped me be happy, and just thinking of all the crazy people. Like there are so many crazy people and I won't name any of them. I try not to name names, you know, but so many that I just loved so much. And like every single girlfriend that I had in Vegas, they were all Sagittarius women. Like Sagittarius or Aries. I love me fire women. Like fire women just, I can fan their fire, but they also, like, they're fiery and they're usually not afraid to be like, yeah, you know, like what she's saying is not fun. I don't like what she's saying either, but it's true. Like they at least have the integrity to stand behind things even if they don't like it. And so I've always been really, really drawn to and always have be friends with fire signs, especially. A lot of air signs girlfriends throughout the years too. A couple of Capricorns. But yeah, I was just thinking about all the different people and I was like, you know what? There are a few people I bet I could look on Instagram right now and just say hi to. You know, because like it just even talking about it, like right now I get a smile on my face. It's just dumb shit, you know, dumb shit. Being 20 in your 20s in Vegas, I was running from a lot. And I have yet to address all that. I was running from a lot in my 20s. My dad died and I booked it. My kiddo was only supposed to stay with his dad for a year. The way that everything was done, things didn't need to be as dramatic, but we were both pretty young. I'm reaching territory where I'll have to edit stuff out, so I'm just gonna stop. But Vegas was a time that I really needed, because I wasn't given no grace in a time when I needed a little bit of grace and some understanding. And if I had been given grace and understanding when it was needed, I would have come home to my family and I would have raised my child. But because I was made the villain and everyone was like, fuck her and this is a problem and she shouldn't be around you. I told you I was trying not to cuss. I was a coward. I ran from all of that. I was like, why would I want to be around these people that won't listen to me? They're dedicated to misunderstanding me. They will not give me the grace that they would expect themselves to hear me out. So why am I going to stay here and do this? I'm just going to keep moving. And that's what I've been doing. I've just kept moving because that's been my mentality. They won't hear me out. They won't even see or try to put themselves in my position. Fuck, some of them still had their parents. Like their parents were like pushing 90 type shit, you know, like God bless that family with great genetics, but like it's the inability to show any grace or empathy to somebody who they knew had no support. It was just really, that shit broke me and I couldn't face them because it broke my heart. It wasn't that I couldn't face them for the choices I made. I couldn't face them because their choices broke me. I loved them. so much, the whole family. And I was just made a disgrace when I had a trauma response, and it wasn't a healthy one. And anyone that knew me should have gone, she needs help. I wasn't given that. I wasn't given that grace. And I recognize that now. Do you know how powerful that is to be able to go, you needed grace and you needed support and you needed someone to go, come here, baby. I'm gonna hold you. You needed to be held. And the people that always held me were dead. And the people that also protected me from the world were gone. And so I was thrust into a world that I didn't know existed. I naturally look like this. I've never had work done. From a young age, my dad used to say, men react differently around you and you need to pay attention to that. And then instead of teaching me ways to protect myself, he really just protected me. I was in a mall at 13 and there were two boys. I don't know if they were cute boys. I was just boy crazy at 13. Really boy crazy. I don't know if girls still get boy crazy now. Maybe they don't because of social media, but like we didn't have social media, so we didn't have access to cute boys. So when I saw them, I was like frothing at the mouth at like 13. I don't know what I would have done if I got a hold of one. Okay, I had no education in that way. I'm autistic, very, very behind everybody, but I was boy crazy. And I don't think girls are like that now because they have Instagram, so they could be crazy behind the closed walls. People aren't seeing it. So I remember being at the mall and my dad saw me doing like, it was like adjusting my hair. He saw me like getting cute, doing my cute eyebrow thing. My eyebrow was being cute. It's always was something I did. The brow. So he sees it and immediately he's triggered. He's like, absolutely not. And so he starts growling, like deep within his chest, loud. I can't even get that loud because it hurts my throat. I don't know how he did it. He practiced. He was like a dragon. And these boys, first, I'm horrified. I'm like, what? And I'm like, and he's like, uh-oh, hold on 1 second. What time is it? Okay, I got half an hour. I gotta take her to a vet. Half a thing in 20 minutes. I'm like, stop it. Like, and I'm like, stop it, right? Like, cause I see he's going, and by this time it's too late. It's too late. These boys have heard him. They've seen him. We're not gonna show the man that's in the picture with him. This was my dad, okay? Okay? He was 6'4", and this is actually very white. He was usually very tan. And he usually wasn't wearing the glasses, and he usually had way more piercings, and also I think he had more tattoos at that time too. So, this man is growling at you. You're walking towards this child. Those boys immediately went to the other side, and I just looked at him horrified and so pissed. Like, when am I ever around cute boys? Why did you take that from me? I was so mad at him. he just went. I think he may have said something along the lines of, if they had been worth it, they wouldn't have run. And that was pretty much my dad in a hat, I don't know, we can't just package him up. He was so much more than that. He was so wonderful. He was wonderful. I loved him so much. I miss him so much. But yeah, he didn't really teach me like any ways to protect myself. He just was the protection. And so when he died, I lost the unconditional love and support that I had only from him, because my grandma had died 6 years before him. And so when he died, it was like, that was the last bit of like support I had. And I think back on things now, like, you know, why I just left at the time the love of my life. I think subconsciously I knew that some of the behaviors and things that were happening before my dad passed away were problematic. And so my way of like dealing with that, because I knew what type of person I was dealing with, was to run away from everything. And it took me a lot of years to like come to this awareness. Like, I've not had any therapy. I've not had anyone to talk to. I tried therapists here and I terrified them. They said that I was beyond their scope of profession or something like that. I don't remember. It was beyond the scope of some shit I don't understand. So, after I got over being too broken to find a therapist, I just started healing from where I was. And that was just radically accepting the things that I had done and then journaling about it. Okay. I got really off topic. I kind of feel like maybe my dad just wanted to be mentioned. I don't know. I never talk about my dad because I usually start crying and then I'm digging in my nose, making sure that my nose doesn't need to be blown. But yeah, so I went to Instagram and I was thinking about my friend and I was like, maybe his name's still the same. So I looked up, it was, and so I reached out to him and I kind of teased him a little bit. I didn't tell him who I was. I made him guess. Took him like 8 hours. Rookie. But yeah, I ended up reaching out to my friend on Instagram. We ended up getting on the phone, so we just hadn't talked in like a long time. And I mean, I don't really remember us talking on the phone. Like, we definitely would sit and chill and talk for hours when we'd hang out, but like, I don't remember us like being chatty on the phone. And we ended up talking for like 2 hours, just about everything, like Vegas, and apparently I was a little insane. Not like in a bad way, but I don't remember being that fun. Apparently I was fun just all the time. I've been so out of myself, like not who I am. So it was really like, it felt like such a gift to sit and talk to somebody who not only knows me outside of all of this trauma, but could kind of like shed a light, like to show a light on that part of me and be like, yeah, you were fucking hilarious. Like, that just made me feel so seen and like so understood in a space where I've just been really alone, kind of terrified to connect with others because others are also kind of traumatized, and like, it's hard. It's hard to let new people in. And I've known him for like 12 years. I want to say it's been like 12 years, almost 13 years. So like, where we hung out a lot consistently, like not all the time, but like consistently throughout the years, we'd hang out, we'd get together and hang out, like geek out on like Marvel movies, like Harry Potter, and like eat food, just talk and smoke. It was just really a chill, it was a chill friendship. And I really needed that reminder, because the way life is and the way I've grown, I kind of cut off every person I had in connection to my past like that. I just have them all cut off because they haven't grown themselves, not in a way that's conducive for me to be able to be around them. And like, you know, beliefs change, our priorities change, things we think that are important have changed. Like, it's very normal for you to grow into adulthood and not have the same friends that you had as a child. And that's actually healthy, because that signifies... Okay, I'm trying to finish this before I gotta go to that vet appointment. So yeah, you know, shifting through friends actually signifies that you've grown and that you have like kind of shifted into adulthood, right? It's very normal to not have the same friends for 25 years. If you've had the same friends for 25 years, that means that you've not emotionally grown at all, and neither have your friends. That's genuine. That's not where I want to be. I want to be with people that are always growing. So anyway, I digress. We talked for like 2 hours, shared about how things have changed, how we've grown, and the fact that I could even chat with them for that long was like, okay, that's cool. I usually can't just sit and chat with people for that long. So, we hang up. He's probably going to be in the state, in a couple months, some 3-4 months or something like that. And so we were, planning on chatting, and then probably getting together when he comes to town. And we both kind of like resolved on like the same like thought, like, yeah, why didn't we try to date type of thing. It probably would have worked really well. And so we were kind of resolved on this, like, well, maybe we'll just see like what happens kind of thing, not like a plan, no expectation, but just like we'll see what happens. And so for me, when someone's a friend, I really don't have, there's like, you can be however you need to be. I'll assign you where you are based on how you act and how, like the time and stuff like that. I'm just not in like a year less than someone, but like I will allot them a certain amount of energy, basically, because I'm autistic and I have to be careful with how much energy I give away. Literally, just every day I have to be like, do I have enough energy to do this? Do I have enough energy to shower? Do I have enough energy to do things that most people don't have to do this with? They don't have to weigh out how much energy they have. So when it comes to people in my life, people can be the biggest source of drain on my energy and my mental stamina when it comes to like burnout with my autism. So I have to be really careful. And so when someone is like going into the threads of maybe I would consider them like a partner, I don't say I have expectations. I have standards. Like, these are basic standards for a person who wants to be in my life in that capacity. I have standards that I expect to happen so that I'm treated with respect. Why? Because of my father. My father he taught me how I should be loved. And it wasn't an unhealthy, toxic, I own you love. And I think when I realized that was what I would have been left with, I ran when I went and did the modeling. It was like a subconscious thing to protect myself. Thinking there'll still be an ability to have a friendship through our child. And there was so much bitterness there that could never happen. And so for me now, especially 16 years later, still dealing with the choices of a man who has chosen not to emotionally deal with things and instead blame others and make choices that causes hurt for others, I'm incredibly careful about what type of man I'll ever let into my life ever again. Like, I've resolved I told my papa, like, he's the last man that'll ever live in this house. And I don't feel bad about saying that, because this is my safety. This is my safe space. Why would another man be let in if they can't reach the basic standards of what it means to love me? And I've been taught that by my daddy. No one can tell me that I'm wrong, because he was my hero. He taught me exactly the type of man that would look at a woman and call her a liar about her feelings, and the type of man that would say, I hear you and I understand. Thank you for explaining to me so that I can adjust. There's 2 types of men. There's no in between. They're either healthy or they're unhealthy. And so I had kind of resolved to this, like, yeah, this is someone that I could definitely kind of move forward with. And then the unanswered messages happen. And it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but that just starts as something small. And if you leave my messages unanswered when it's not even important, what happens if I let you hold my heart and I have an emergency? I'm not a priority. So I leave myself out to be harmed. And I have only learned this from being harmed so many times by people who were inconsiderate. Inconsiderate behavior in a relationship is so dangerous. especially if you're letting someone hold your heart. So I'm like really torn because I like let it sit for a few days, didn't hear anything, and I said, bet you made everything else a priority. Posting on an Instagram story was more of a priority to you. So I blocked him, and it kind of sucked, and I was like really frustrated about it, and like not mad but like disappointed, you know, like when you just finally like let yourself have a little faith in something and then that person fails miserably with something so small and easy. And it's like, if that's what you do with something so small and easy, what would it be for things that matter? And so this is why I've been single for 7 years and celibate for 6. Why would I give any part of myself away, especially with the laws with women and pregnancy and our bodies? Why would I go out in the world after dark? Why would I do any of these things when there are continuously, we're being shown the type of men that are around aren't the men that I was raised around, not the men that I was taught will protect you and keep you safe. And the behaviors don't equate to that. Whether the words do, the behaviors don't. So I'm just like, I was really just high and happy and elated, and now I'm like, wow, that really sucks. And so I have this phone. It's like crappy old phone, but I use it to play. I usually have like, it's like subliminals, but it sounds like rain, and I really like it all the time. So it's usually playing all the time. And so when I picked up the phone to turn the music off this morning, I saw a message from him, because even though I blocked him on this, it somehow didn't block on my old phone. Can anyone explain that? I don't know how that works. So yeah, I saw a message from him, and it was like, you know, I had a flight. I've just been really busy. I'm sorry. I'm not really sure. Like, he started with an apology, but not knowing like the issue for me is an issue, but also like I'm torn because I have this like very like strict like red tape standard. Like, if you like break these very simple rules, like I don't buy. Like, I have standards. I love myself. I would never leave myself hanging like that. I would never not answer myself, you know, like, and that sounds so silly, but it's like, if I could stop and do that. And here's the thing, when I'm busy and I have someone important in my life, I make sure to say, hey, I'm about to go do this. So I may not answer, or, you know, if I don't respond, I'll be back when I can, type of thing. Like, I'm very communicative because of my trauma. And so if anyone's in my life, they need to be able to communicate, and not being able to communicate is so inconsiderate to somebody who's been through so much shit like me. And so that's just where I'm at right now. And I'm kind of like up in the air. Like, what do I do? Do I respond? Do I say nothing? Like, I feel like the unhealed part of me is like, we're not responding, we're done. And there's a very fine line with like cutting people off and doing it for your own health and your own safety, and doing it because it's a trauma response. And because I've not had therapists, and I don't really understand where that line is, I can sometimes draw that line too deep in the sand. And this isn't someone that I want to just like I have like 12 years of good memories, like no bad memories with this person. And not saying that they couldn't happen, but it's just like, we really, really get along well. And like, in a world where like the whole world is on fire right now, I would just really like someone I can trust and talk to, you know, like I'm torn, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And I don't think he knows about this account, but also like, men are kind of like sneaky little FBI agent sleuths when they want to be. So I don't know. Just because they don't communicate that they're not doing it doesn't mean they're not doing it. Oh shit. All right, I really gotta go to this vet thing. This is green tea. I've been doing a raw garlic clove soaked in organic honey.
and eating it in the morning, but because I have to go to this appointment today, I didn't do my garlic this morning because I was like, man, I want to be mean to these girls. It's just like a whole staff of women. If it was a whole staff of men, I might. I'm not sexist. I just take advantage of places where I could tease them a little more because they do it to us all the time. I feel like it levels the playing field. I'm a Libra. I need balance. But yeah, I didn't have my garlic this morning. And then I always have green tea. I stopped drinking coffee cold turkey in September, like right before pumpkin spice season last year. I'm still so impressed with myself about that. So it's been almost a full year that I've been off coffee. And ironically enough, when I stopped drinking coffee, I started praying. And I'm not like overly religious. I'm never going to preach to anybody. But I will say when I connected in that way, things started changing for me. And that was something I really needed. So if you find something like that works for you, I say do it, go with it. Yeah, it was really a surprising moment for me to realize that like I was actively asking for help in a way that I had never asked before, because I was like pushed into church. I was pushed into Catholicism. I didn't want anything to do with any of it. I didn't believe in it. I had questions. I didn't want to answer my questions. They always made me out to be a problem instead of just answering fucking questions. I had common sense questions. They didn't want to answer the questions, you know? And I couldn't name any of those questions now because it's been like 100 years since I've been Bible studying, but I was like, that doesn't really make sense. So, yeah, I've never blindly just listened or believed things. And that has caused so many fucking problems for me in life. Not just with powerful people, but like also friend groups where people are like, this person's in charge. And I'd be like, why? They're a fucking idiot. Sorry, bad mouth. And then immediately I'd be discharged from that friend group because their leader was stupid and I wasn't gonna bow to it. Like, I just don't blindly follow the rules, the law. Like, explain this to me. Why is this in place? Why is this happening? Why? If you can't explain why and you get defensive, you probably shouldn't be pushing whatever you're pushing onto people. And that's been my belief since I was a kid. And it has been a problem for me since I was a kid. Anyways, I gotta go. 12:30. I gotta go. Y'all have a good day. If you're still here and listening, you rock. I don't think anybody actually watches these. I think these are just really good for me. It's like therapy. I feel like Clarissa from Clarissa Explains It All. Okay? Bye.